Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Not a video, a podcast. I'm so used to that. Silly me. Welcome back to another podcast. Okay, that probably damaged the pop. Next time I should probably not do that. That caused some difficulties. Just give me a second. Oh, hey, how you doing, man? That caused some difficulties. I can't do this. Well, that's perfect. I got this. Some people on Spotify are probably gonna be like, what's going on? What is going on? Yes, my camera fell. So, today I'm going to be talking about school stories because I have to go to school in 2 days. So let's get right into it. So I have to go to school in two days. Poor me. Why me? Poor me. Always poor me. Why me? Okay. So, before I tell that, my stories, I'm going to be talking about how this has been the quickest summer ever. Quickest year ever. So, it felt like yesterday it was January. Then February. Then March. Then April. Then May. Then June. Then July. And now it's August. This summer went by too quick. Last summer, it went by slow, but that was because we're in a pandemic. But, that's when it was like it was in the middle. Like, the beginning, it was bad. The middle, it was okay. And then it was still okay. So, we're still almost probably gonna die. So, let me just tell you some stories. So obviously I'm gonna have some stories about my old school, stories about my new school, and yeah, that's probably about it. So, I'm gonna start off with one story. My first story is probably gonna be this one. So when I was in 5th grade, obviously, I don't know why I said obviously. When I was in 5th grade, I had friends. Yes, I had friends. Yes, surprisingly, I had 2 friends. Not 2. God, oh my God, I had some friends. The 2. There's not only 2. I'm just naming off 2. Were Dalton and Ava, and then there was me that made the W. Wait, there was me that came up as 2 thumbs that equaled 1 finger. So it made a weird shaped W. Wait, yeah. So I had 2 friends. Okay, I'm gonna stop saying that. But Ava and Dalton, right? We'd go to, YMCA after school because at our school, after school, if you didn't have a bus or no one could pick you up, then you could go to YMCA. And it was at our school in the cafeteria. Sometimes we'd go outside or in the gym. We'd usually stay in that one area and play the worst games ever, like in the cafeteria. So, one day we decided, let's prank the teachers, basically. But only use me. Obviously, Dalton and Ava didn't do this. They all did it to me. So, the first one was to make me look like a rapper. They put tattoos all over my face with markers and stuff. And I just walked up to the teacher and I said, oh no, my face, it hurts. And they would go, well, let me see. Hey, yo. So that's what I looked like that. And then also another time, Ava pushed me down the bleachers. Which, if you don't know what bleachers are, you've probably never been to a school. That's where it's like big stairs, like big stairs. You sit on them, they're called bleachers. Well, we had a pair of, so the plastic ones don't hurt as much, but the wood ones do. I think, yeah, we were on the wood ones. They were sitting down, and I was standing up, I was like, just looking at something. I don't remember what I was doing. I was like 3 years ago. And I'm just standing there, and she goes, boom, pushes me, boom, boom, boom. I fall straight down the stairs. And I swear, she didn't believe me, but I swear I tasted blood. Like, I swear I tasted blood. But, like, that was funny, though. Like, I had fun doing that, Um, the next story I want to tell you is like a few stories from my new school. So I remember one time where there's a the website Teespring where everyone makes their merch on there. I make my merch on there too. Well, um, our, our teacher's face was on uh Google and stuff. I'm not gonna say his name just for privacy issues, but his face was on Google, and well, who would have thought it would have been funny to put his face on a T-shirt, some pants, and some mask. Kind of got weird when a kid in class said put it on underwear because they don't have underwear, but that would have been weird. But I did figure out a website where that you could make custom underwear, which was funny. Um, Another story is when I was in fifth grade, not fifth grade, when I was in seventh grade, which I'm about to be in eighth grade. Uh, we at school every year we do a thing where a few selected students get to go to Disney. Now, I've never been one of those selected students. I've only been to the school for 2 years, about to be 3. I don't care about going to Disney. Disney's not my favorite. I mean, it would be fun to, but it's not something that I'm literally dying to go. Um, but they usually want you to decorate the hallways and put Disney things. Well, our teacher said, I'm going to print out some coloring pages and you're going to have to do one. You're going to have to do one no matter what. Well, knowing me, I said no. I said, do we have to? Yes, you do. I'm not going to do it. He goes, yeah, you are. He goes, I go, what Disney characters you got? Well, we got Goofy, we got Rex, we got, all these characters. Oh, I don't like Disney. Well, too bad. I'm not gonna do it. I don't like Disney. You're doing it. I don't like Disney. Fine, what Disney character do you want? I want the Predator. Now, you're probably like, the Predator? Predator's not Disney. Well, Disney owns Fox. Fox made the Predator. Bingo. So, Predator, I said, Predator. He goes, no, I said, I want Iron Man with an ACDC logo on the side. He said, fine. I colored it in. I just never turned it in. I left it in my desk. So I didn't care. Uh, Another story is one of a teacher at my school, which I did not like at all. Like, I do not like at all. Because it annoys me sometimes. And I have problems with people making me mad. I don't have anger issues. I just have problems with, like, yeah, I don't even know. I have problems with just, like, people aggravating me. Like, if someone tries to force me to do something, like, if they go, you're gonna do this right now, I'm like thinking, I don't have to do this. They're just trying to make me. So, one of my teachers at my school, I'm not gonna say her name, but one day, like, one of the few first days of school, like, maybe the first week or two, I was tying my shoes in class. Now, I know I was tying my shoes, and teacher goes, look up at the board. I'm like, well, I'm tying my shoes, and she's like, you're sitting down. I'm like, well, what if I forget and I fall in the hallway and break my neck? Now, obviously, I didn't say that. I was thinking that in my head, but I'm like, what if I forget and stuff? And she goes, well, stop tying your shoes. I'm like, I'm gonna keep tying my shoes. So I kept doing it and stuff. And she goes, if you don't stop tying your shoes, I'm going to give you a referral. Now, if you don't know what a referral is, I think it's just a lame excuse to say, I'm going to tell your mommy. I'm going to tell your daddy. Something like that. Just a terrible excuse. And honestly, I would have liked that. Just because, just imagine being like, hey, you ever got a referral before? Yeah, I do. What referral? Like, what did you get on the referral? I tied my shoes. See, tying your shoes. That's just, it's stupid. Now another thing. Now, talking about the same teacher again. One time, like, oh no, multiple times, she'd make us play games in class, which I'm fine with that teacher. Now it's just, I just didn't like some things that we did there. But one time the teacher, uh, uh, she said, "We're gonna play games. Now, what do you want to play? You want to play Exterminator or some other game?" Now, everyone said Exterminator. Now, if you don't know what Exterminator is, it's the same thing as Murderer. Instead of basically, grabbing a knife and just start going, and they gotta find who's the murderer, you blink and you're like the Exterminator. You get rid of all the pests. And I don't know. Now I feel like we had a rivalry against each other basically at the beginning, just because she said, "What about Liam?" I said, "I don't want to do it." She goes, "You do it," and I'm like, "Fine." So the person comes out the door, and they stand in the middle, and you're supposed to blink. Remember? Guess who doesn't blink for 3 minutes straight? Yeah, boy. I'm over here just not even blinking. She goes out to the hallway, and I'm over here like, wow. If a teacher walks up to me and says, "Why are you sitting out in the hallway for?" I'll be like, "I didn't blink." And if Miss Ryder said, "That's that's not true," I'd say, "Well, it kind of is." I didn't blink. But just like, if someone ever tries to make you play a game, I don't say you shouldn't do it. You should. Obviously, I kind of did a bad decision, but it's just kind of been the part of my life where it's like, I don't want to play any more stupid games. I had to go to a daycare for 10 to 11 years. I had to go in 2020 in the middle of a pandemic, wearing a mask with little kids not wearing a mask. The main teacher, principal, person, the one principal teacher person, she hardly wore a mask. All that stuff. Can't really say. Don't want to get demonetized. Well, not demonetized. So I had to wait. What am I talking about again? But they'd always make us like play games and all that stuff, and I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. And I just don't like if someone says you want to play like I don't know tag or something like that. I'll say yeah, sparkle. Yeah, if you don't know what sparkle is, you gotta like spell it word like spell cat. One person says C, the other person says A, the other person says T, and then the next person says sparkle, and then the person right by the person who said sparkle, not the person who said T, but the other person would be out if you keep going again. I'm fine with playing that, but if it's like game where it's just you stand up and try to blink people out, that's just dumb. It's dumb. We're supposed to go to school. You're supposed to learn. That's it. Not that. Obviously, it's fine. Like we played some games which I was fine with. Like you had to throw a ball at people, which I think I'd be good at. Because I'm pretty good at throwing things at people. But like, I just don't even know. Also, one time I'm trying to think of more stories I could tell. Oh yeah, boom. So I want to tell you a story. I'm gonna need to give it a name though. I'm gonna give it a name. I'm gonna call it. Here, I'm gonna itch my nose. I'm gonna get a drink and itch my nose real quick. Okay, so I got my milk. Let's get right into this. So I don't know what I'm gonna call this story. I think I'm gonna call it. We'll just call it kickball, but it's not playing kickball. Well, we'll just call it we'll just call it kickball. So we go to school and stuff, right? That's the whole point of this podcast. When we go to school, like some schools you don't get recess in like middle school. At our school we do. But we'd go to recess, right? And we'd have a soccer ball. And I've kicked the soccer ball over the fence multiple times. I've hit a car on accident. I've made the car run over the soccer ball. It's done this. So, I'm probably the best kicker, at least in my class at school. Well, now I'm in 8th grade, so I probably am the best kicker because I can kick a ball far. So, obviously, sometimes I'll kick it and it just doesn't go up in the air, but a lot of the time, I can kick it as hard as I want to, and it will go up straight in the air and travel and like go straight over a fence and hit the road. So I'm pretty good at kicking a ball. And obviously, I have to be better because I don't play soccer and I don't want to. But I do. I kick like while I'm boxing. Like I do kickboxing to practice like me not hurting my foot every single time I kick a ball without like a shoe on. Because it doesn't usually hurt, but it does sometimes. So, but I remember. So I was always the person to get in trouble at school. Now you're probably like, that's not a good thing. And I'm saying it's not, really, it's not. But I got in trouble for stupid things. So, you know, usually go to school, get in trouble for, punching someone and, or kicking them, or, calling them a bad name, call them an offensive word or something like that, which you should never do because people can take really offended and you could get yourself murdered. Trust me, it happens so much. Not at our school, not saying that, but in real life it happens, so never call anyone an offensive name. But, like, I'll be going to school and I'll play soccer. Not soccer, but we'll play football. I love football. I love football more than any sport. Like basketball, I like basketball, but football, best thing. I don't watch football only on the Super Bowl because I just kind of really root for Tom Brady. I used to not like Tom Brady, but now I like Tom Brady as a football player. But that's just about it. But we'd go like play, like I'd kick a ball, right? I'd kick a ball over the fence. Teacher would be like, on the fence. Next day, kick a ball over the fence. On the fence. Kick a ball over the fence. Next day, on the fence. On the fence every day. Well, the teacher got to the point where he's like, so he's responsible for everything. Now that's what I thought. That was in my head. So I want to mention, we were in the gym one day at recess at school. My friend Chance, we were playing football, and Chance decided out of nowhere he's gonna throw a frisbee at our teacher. He does, and Mr. Robards goes, Liam, sit down. I'm like, what did I do? He goes, you threw a frisbee at me. I go, no, I didn't. And he goes, yeah, you did, so sit down. And Morgan goes, no, he didn't. He didn't. And it was a whole back and forth conversation. And he goes, well, pick up the frisbee, okay? And so I picked it up and wait, no, that was after. So I gave him the frisbee and stuff. I hate this TV. I gave him the frisbee and no, he made me sit out. I remember we went into class and you know what he said? My friend Chance says, can't believe I threw a frisbee at Mr. Robards. So I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. So I was over here sitting down like, what? So honestly, when people say, will you take the blame for something? Me, I don't even care anymore. But next story I want to talk about is boys versus girls, a very big topic in like real life. who was better, a boy versus a girl versus a boy, or a boy girl, or a girl boy, or well, let's see, or a dinosaur, honestly, because crocodiles still count as dinosaurs. Well, wait, no, that's alligators. I don't even know. So, so it would be boys versus girls in this situation. And I want to tell you how this all started with that teacher that I disliked for a long time. So she said, "You guys seem like you're talking a lot, out of breath and sweating at recess." And we go, "Yeah." And she says, "Why?" I said, "Well, one of the kids says the girl took the football," and obviously he's a boy. And she said, "Well, okay." And the thing that happened at school was there would be my friend group, which is basically all guys, I'm pretty sure, yeah. The guys, the girls, and there'd be me. Just me. Right there. And I'd always be the one to always take the blame. So I remember one day, the girls took the football, right? They took it, and the boys were chasing after her. So we were trying to get the football back. And what I did was, I pretended like I slipped, and I didn't get in trouble for this. I pretended like I slipped. So I ran, and I jumped in front of the girl where it made it look like I fell, and where that girl tripped over. And I took the football from her. Straight up, that girl punched me straight in the arm. Now you're probably like, oh, I bet that hurt. Not at all. It hurt her. Her knuckle was bleeding. So she has very fragile hands, or I'm built different in this arm. It hurts to, well, honestly, yeah. Yeah, it would hurt. Yeah, it's kind of just, I don't know, it's really hard right here. I don't know why, it's probably just, I don't even know. It's just like all muscle, like this right here, this is soft, but then going right here, it's just like a full patch of, I don't even know. But she punched me, and I remember Miss Ryan. I almost said her name. Don't. Okay. I remember the teacher said, "Well, what happened?" And I'm continuing back with the story about the boys versus girls. And the teacher said, "What happened?" And the student said, "Well, I tried to get the football, and I punched the guy's arm." And the teacher said, "Who do you punch?" Liam. And what happened? Bloody knuckles. Well, Liam, are you okay? My arm feels better than ever. So I'm over here just flexing on my arm, saying it feels better than ever. That's what she hated, though. And the teacher didn't even get mad at me for doing this, which I like my teacher that I had in 7th grade, because he'd mainly go after me sometimes, but wouldn't. The kid that I talked about that punched me in the arm, the girl, honestly, I'm just gonna say her name. Her name's Cadence. So Cadence, when she punched me in the arm, her knuckles bled. Well, bleeded a little. She cut her hand. One day we're outside, it's kind of stormy. She threw a pin at me. Now I'm talking about a metal, just a pin like that. She threw it at me, and it hit me on the arm. It hit me right here. It didn't hurt, but it made me bleed a little. So I don't know. So I took the pin and broke it in half. She got so mad at me, she was slapping my back, slapping me on my arm, hitting me in the neck, doing all this stuff. I'm like, why are you doing this? You literally threw a pin at me. If someone threw a pin at me, I'm breaking it. Someone threw their crutch at me, I'm breaking it. Probably not though, because then I'd probably be in a legal situation. Going back, our teacher, she said, why don't the boys have a football and the girls have a football? Well, yeah, but we didn't like that. We liked our football. So we were like, well, and then Chance goes, well, I'll bring a football. We're like, oh, his has to be much better. It was not. So sometimes we would have taken the girls' football. Well, one day we all decided let's play football all together. So, Caden threw the ball, and I caught it. I caught the ball, and Chance was on their team. So Chance decided to. I think he was going for my shoulder, so he was gonna punch my shoulder, so the ball would slip out of my hand. So he punched it, but I didn't want the ball to slip out of my hand. So, the football. I didn't want the football to slip out of my hand. So I put my nose in the way, and he goes, hits me straight in the nose. Blood comes out my nose. And not even joking, how I kick a soccer ball, I kicked it 100, not 100, like probably 70 times harder. And I just went straight in the balls. He went down to the ground like, ah, ah, ah. And it was funny. But you see, 25-minute episode. We're doing pretty good so far. Out of milk. But we just had like so many weird stories. Like the beginning of 7th grade was okay. It was more of the after I had COVID was the best part of 7th grade. Now I say that just because like I don't know, like I felt like I could talk to people a little bit better and stuff like that. But just I don't even know. I'm trying to think of more stories I had. I don't know. I don't want to end it just yet, but I want to see what stories I got. Let's see. So I want to talk about stories of a girl at my school named Kiana. Not gonna say her last name, but I will say her first name because first name you can't really track anyone by that. I mean, you can, but then there'd be a lot of last names. So Kiana. She was crazy sometimes. We'd be playing like tag or something like that. I don't even know, but it's just like she was not all so fun to play with sometimes. So the kicking the ball back and forth, I kick mine way in the air where she could catch it, and she'd kick hers, and it'd go like it was like a turning car. Like it stops at the red light and then keeps going, but in a bad way. Me, I'd go straight, but her Mario. So it's just it wasn't. I can't even really think of any more stories. It was just crazy. Oh no, I got one. I figured it out. So her, like Kiana and her friend. I'm not gonna say her name because that's too close of privacy issues. Kiana and her friend. So we'd be in gym. It'd be me and my friend Kyron and Braylon and all that stuff. And Chance. We'd be in gym, and I'd be playing like soccer. Well, not soccer, but kicking the ball, see how high I can hit it, how much force I can use. And they'd be like playing football, and I'll be talking to all of them. And then Kiana will just, and her friend will just sit and talk. Well, I kick the ball, and it goes over to their side. And being as rude as they are sometimes, she picks up the ball and throws it on top of the bleachers. Now, I'm not saying like where I would just start walking like up steps and stuff like that, but I'm saying like she throws it up there, and like she throws it up there, and I have to literally climb up onto the like bleachers, which is not safe, but I did. So when I did it, I had to do it a lot of times. Now, I'm not a good person with heights. I'm totally like terrified of more so bridges than like high up places like a building. Doesn't scare me, but a bridge, that thing could come down anytime. So I'm not a big fan of bridges, but uh, I do like. I just don't know. But yeah, I'd climb. I'd get the ball, and they catch it, and I just think the first time they did it, I think, oh, they're just gonna give it to me. Throws it up there again. So I'm over here, Spider-Man, trying to get the ball they threw, and I grab it again, but this time I'm holding it in my arm. I'm doing this, like I'm going down the stairs, like I'm doing some thriller dance. So I'm holding it, and I I get it, but they've done it so many times, probably over 50 times they've done it. Probably not, but it's probably like over 10. But I just didn't like that about them or that part. I wish I had more stories to talk about. Guys, if you did enjoy this podcast, I hope you guys enjoyed it though. Leave a like if you liked it, leave a dislike if you didn't like it. Um uh Subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my main channel. I think I'm just gonna keep putting them on my main channel so people would watch them instead. I hope you guys enjoyed. See ya.